Hello, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to talk to you about clutch words. So for those of you who haven't heard of the word clutch word, it is a word or a phrase or a sound that you clutch to when you're speaking. Often when we're speaking in public or we're speaking to a camera or we're just speaking in normal communication, our brain will go quite quickly, and what will happen is you talk and you say what you're thinking, and then in the break, while you're still thinking about those next words, you've already said what you want to say, and there's this big gap of silence. And often what will happen is you'll have a visible, audible, sometimes will come out. And it's really just your brain's way of processing how to fill that gap. And it's a bit like a sound for a comma or a full stop, so to speak. One of the ways to stop saying all of that is to actually give yourself some mental thought about what you're actually saying and what you're talking about. If you're actually consciously aware of what's coming out of your mouth, you'll hear yourself say it. And the more attention you bring to it, the more you can actually start to shift and change that. And usually when you feel like you're about to say it, instead you pause and you fill it with just empty space. And that silence can be quite effective in communication. Ums and ers are only part of it. Another thing that can be clutch words is certain words or phrases that you repeat. A common one is so. So starting sentences with so, blah, 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 blah. Or in between sentences, you'll have this big and then you'll keep going on to the next thing, rather than just waiting and then starting the next sentence. So so's, ands can all be clutch words as well when they're not naturally and organic and appropriately there. If you're going to start the next sentence with the words so or and, that's usually an indicator that it's a clutch word. Another thing you've probably heard from other people is when they use words and phrases like or right or some, and they might just throw them in from time to time. And there are some people you may meet who have essentially swear words. They'll be talking and say yeah fucking yeah, and they'll just throw in the odd word just to fill the gap or fill the space. They come in many shapes and forms. So that's kind of the core one, is what you use to fill the gaps. There are also other words and phrases that people continue to use on a regular basis. And sometimes you don't know what these are until someone points it out, or you listen to yourself after you've recorded yourself. And these can be phrases that just become a kind of a phrase that you rely on in the absence of better words. There's a few that I've seen come up quite often, things like the word basically or actually or some people might say for example all the time. There's one I say very common at the moment that I'm working on, which is the thing is. I'll say the thing is blah, the thing is this, or the thing you got to realize. It's a phrase that I continue to use quite often. I find myself saying it quite a lot. And there's probably a lot of alternative ways that I could be saying that phrase. Instead of the thing is, I could use other variations of that. Or I could leave it out altogether and just go on and actually say the thing. Now, why should we change this is probably the next question. Because honestly, most people talk this way. And unless you're talking in public or talking to a big audience, you probably don't need to put all that much focus on this. But bringing more attention to your speech allows you to be a lot more articulate, allows you to actually be more intentional with the words you use and how you structure your sentences. And that in itself actually makes you be a lot more powerful with your words and with how you communicate. all of that extra stuff in between, it's just noise and filler. It doesn't actually add anything to your message. If anything, it just adds a level of noise and murkies the water, so to speak, of your message. So you've kind of got this clear, concise message that's then got all this dirt and grime on top of it. And that's really what all those filler words and ums and ers are, just useless words. They don't add to the conversation. If anything, they just cloud it, and it makes you sound nervous, it makes you sound unprepared, it makes you sound a little bit strange, but we're just so used to that. But you'll find that when you hear someone who's really articulate and talking and they don't use those filler words, they feel like they're a intelligent, adept, competent communicator. And that's what you want to try and achieve when it comes to eliminating the ums and ers, or the clutch words, so to speak. They're those words that you essentially clutch onto. So my task in this video was to try and eliminate that to try not to use too many clutch words. I think I picked myself up a couple of times mentally where I said in between words, but I will watch this back and see how many I actually did use unintentionally. Appreciate you watching. Bye for now.